I'm going to do one hard thing a year, just because I want to be able to look at every year as opposed to like, hey, I did that. Right. That's important to me. 2023 for me was very much like the year you're talking about. We did a lot of things. We probably helped, I don't know, 300-400 people get deals, this, that, the other, did crazy travel. It's just, I had nothing to go look back at that stretched me. So that still is important to me. So I'm going to try to get healthy. I'm going to spend some money, biohacking and, getting scans and getting advice from a doctor in that space. One of the things that is important to me is really setting goals and striving for them. One of the things that I admitted to myself is when I look back at calendar year 2023, it was a horrible year because I had nothing to point at that stretched me or caused me to grow and get uncomfortable. 2024, that changed. I did something I've never done before, and that was run a marathon. It was hard. It was emotional, and I will never do it again. But that said, I will always know in 2024, I did something. That got me thinking about my boy, my friend, my family, Dion. Dion doesn't operate, I believe, with the same mindset. I have never heard him state a goal, a target, a number. He has often said he's won the game. He stopped playing. So I want to ask him, how does he think about, how does he attack, how does he plan? Does he plan with goals for the next coming year? So Dion, thank you for being here, buddy.
No, I appreciate the invite. I always look forward to these. And I have to be honest, I watch the daily financial news to find out what's happening more than what's going to happen. Fair Even enough. Though with your data, you can make some fairly accurate predictions. We've been talking for several years about there isn't a housing price crash coming. Transactions can go down, but prices, we don't see it. It was in your daily financial news this morning. Somebody asked about Melody Wright calling for another crash. And I said, I'm shocked.
Yeah, shock.
Right? She's consistent, so I'm shocked. And when it comes to planning the next year, I'm not a plan guy. I'm just not. I go back to the idiom, the unaimed arrow never misses.
The unaimed arrow never misses. I like it.
And the idea is, if I set the two types of goals, right? Most people don't even realize you can separate goals. And for somebody who doesn't really set goals, I'm surprised I know that there's two types. But you have outcome and action goals.
Yep.
Right. You can control how many deals you look at. You shouldn't try to control how many deals you get. Because if you set a number, I'm going to close on 4 deals next year, and you get 2 and you can't find them, and you get towards the end of the year, what's going to happen to your criteria? What's going to happen to your standards? Right? Or you're going to miss your goal and be disappointed, or you're going to adjust them and buy a bad deal. So I do have a couple of things I want to accomplish in 2025. And it's not because it's a 2025, the days of the year don't matter. It's kind of like every day is Saturday.
Yeah.
I might consider time of year because I like my leases to end in the winter. Right? That's about as much as coming to what time of year it matters. I like to be in another country where the weather's better in the winter because I live in the Pacific Northwest. So I look at it that way. But I purchased my most recent house hack burr in July of 2023.
Yep.
The rehab's done. The other side's rented out. Everything's, shiny and new. And I'm back to traveling. Looking forward to the Vegas event in February. I'll be coming back from Thailand to make it to that event on the 15th and 16th. And the week before, we'll be doing midnight Denny's meetups, right? So I'm excited about that. But I will have owned this place 2 years in July of 2025. So that's what makes it 2025 matter. Not that it's like I plan years or make New Year's resolutions or anything. Like I have the same goals of being good at certain things every day. Not I'll be better at this by that month or whatever. But the IRS 121 rule kicks in to where if I were to sell this place after July of next year, no taxes on gains up to $250,000.
Yeah,
because I'm smart or single, and I could. So this is what I want to do by the middle of 2025. I want to decide: Do I sell
Mm.
or do I do a cash out refinance?
Okay.
And then what would I do with the money? So it's not so much an outcome goal as I want to decide what actions I'm going to take, because I'm always in control of my actions, how many deals I look at, whether I'm hunting for the next deal, if I'm saving, if I'm in spending mode and all of that. But in a decade, I've never really had the outcome goals of this is what I want to do this year, this is what I want to do next year. Because if I all the way from 2020, I kept saying, I want my next purchase to be a fourplex that costs at least $1 million. We made several videos in 2021, 2022, talking about that was my next goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I found a duplex in 21 that made sense. So I bought it. I found a duplex in 2023 that made sense. So I bought it. So I haven't done the thing that I kept saying that's going to be one of my goals, because I'm also watching for all the good deals that can pop up so that I don't miss opportunities.
Right. Right. Well, let me, again, you've won the game. You stopped playing. Again, I love that unaimed arrow never misses. But let's go back to when you were chunking off all of that debt, right? We did a video earlier in the week talking about you had, let's call it 90 grand. We'll round to that. Did you have, like, did you map it out? Like the piece of paper you said you wrote it down. It's like, hey, I'm going to try to pay this one off by X date. Were you at least, was there more of a plan back then?
Build mode is different than you've won the game mode, right?
Yeah. Build versus chill. Yep.
Right. Because if I didn't have a plan, I probably would have taken vacations. Probably would have gotten a car that was not coming up on 20 years old. Right. So yes, with the debt, I definitely had not timeline goals, but allocation goals.
Okay.
I want to make sure that know what my disposable income is and constantly be working to improve that. And it wasn't, I'm going to be making this much more by a certain day. It was, as I make more, as I can spend less, this goes towards worse debt. This goes towards the first house hack. And I make minimum payments on everything that was left. Like everyone else, I like to see progress. I like to see it, I close on the next deal or close down an account of debt that I didn't create, that was there, that was somehow mine. And if you want to relate it to 2025, here's what I look forward to. Like I looked forward to it then. I looked forward to closing on a house hack. I looked forward to, I looked forward from moving to the house to the apartment to start the timeline on being able to use rental income on tax returns in my debt to income ratio. In 2025, this is very selfish. It just feels weird to say this is very selfish. I have needs. I need Mikey, Chester, Michelle, Curtis, Ryan, all of the people who watch that they're reaching out with comments or texting or showing up at the local meetups going, Mikey, in a year, he just closed on his third rental in his first year, right? So to me, that's as big a dopamine hit as when I closed on duplex number 2, which took 4 years. To now go watch, okay, with YouTube University and surrounding yourself with the right people, probably making a plan, something I've not really a planner like that. It can be done in a faster timeline, safer. And so I look forward to 2025. Each person that watches videos like this, that reaches out and says, even if it's something like, I stopped maxing out my retirement accounts. I contribute just for the match now.
Yep.
And look at how fast my savings is growing for that next or first investment. That I made my first offer. Like those kind of interactions, that's what I look forward to the most in 2025. More so than so I've been to Thailand before. I'll enjoy being there. I've traveled before. I've scuba dived in a lot of places. I'm going to enjoy all of that. But for very selfish reasons, I look forward to each person talking about what they're doing and whether it worked or not, or whether they looked at a deal and decided it doesn't work. They're practicing this skill. Right. I hope to see more of that next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know this, but yeah, one of the most exciting things I do every day, or nearly every day, is fill out one of these cards, right? Black cards, gold cards, purple cards. It is for that dopamine hit, right? It's to show that our consistent effort of reaching down, pulling up, responding is working. And, yeah, that you're so right. I do think the buyer's market extends to next year. I think people will be shocked at the deals they get the creative financing, seller financing that would become available. So yeah, I love that. Thinking about 2025 for you, and again, it's just how my stupid brain is wired, right? I've had a quota, either monthly or quarterly numbers, since I was 15 years old. There was a little break when I was 22 or 23 for that year and a half that I was an accountant. But other than that, I've had a commission or a quota. So I'm very much comfortable living in that timeline stress. So like for you in 2025, I mean, I guess it bugs me. And it's because I'm broken. You don't even have a goal that says, hey, I want to go spend 90 days outside the United States, or I want to scuba dive in 3 different locations, or you don't even have anything like that.
So maybe this is a fundamental difference in us that wasn't always this way. I try not to say this in videos because it can pop back up really quick. I want to say I'm the most hyper competitive person I've ever met. Right? I don't just join the Marine Corps. Literally going to the recruiter and saying, "What's the hardest MOS? What's the hardest one for you to fill? One nobody wants to do." Every job I've ever had, I've never just been the employee. Right. I've always quickly been demoted to some management leadership role because whatever job I was doing, I was trying to do so good that it stood out.
Right.
Doesn't mean I was doing a better job. I was figuring out what made it stand out and doing that. It comes down to I don't like to play chess with people because I set the computer to 2100 rating, and if I can't beat it in 90 seconds, I failed. Like that's how I play that. So go play Millennial Mike. First thing I do, throw my queen out in the middle, let him take it, and then I go, okay, now let's have a 20-minute game and see who can play chess. I just can't stand that version of me that is that competitive. So once I got on the path to financial freedom, and I had been demoted to the president of the CDL company that I was at and grown it from like $60,000 a year in revenue to $9 million. Once you've won the game, stop playing. I'm trying as hard as I can to be let me cheer other people on. I don't have to win. I don't have to set goals for myself. I think a couple of years ago, I said, I want to spend more time out of the US than in it because I wanted to travel more.
Yeah. I remember.
And I realized there's a lot of in the US travel I want to do.
Yeah.
So, I see you going, okay, I'm gonna do a marathon. I'm gonna do that. And right. I'm like, nope, I would do that. I work out 3 times a week. I do my push-ups are every other day. I don't even count that as working out. So I've got my physical standards that I maintain, but I don't have my son is a gym rat rock wall climber. And he's always got these new routes he wants to do or new goals he's got to do. And so I encourage that for some people, but I've finally flipped the switch past that to not be that competitive. And so I think that's why my brain says don't set goals, because what you'll do is you'll move the marker every time. That's what for me, I'll move the marker every time.
So this is a fun reflection. You know, you and I have been decent friends for a long time and boys for quite a while as well. And I don't know. I don't know that I would. I mean, audience, let me know in the comments below. Would you have known that Dion is this hyper competitive freak? Again, he's gonna put his queen out there to be sacrificed because he wants the game to be harder and more interesting. He's gonna set the thing to 2100 and see what happens in 90 seconds. I don't know that I would have picked that up. It makes total sense, right? Because I know the story, I know your drive. But I got to tell you, Dion, I don't think, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it is so wired in you that you've had to fight to keep that demon away. And maybe that's why you do what you do. You're the unaimed arrow never misses, because if you do, you only know one way, right? You go all out.
So I'll use an example, which was going to make me seem like a horrible person. I'm trying to be better. I am trying to spend all of next year thoroughly enjoying other people's successes. Like, that's who I'm trying to be.
Okay.
To grow this company that I was at, I found out that a CDL school about 25 miles away had partnered up with a company called CR England, who I don't like. They do over the road. They pay by the mile, so they don't pay overtime. It's basically, and this is my opinion, a slave labor force that generally works drivers who don't know better. So if you work for CR England, I'm sorry, there's better jobs out there. I went to the owners of my company and I said, look, this is about 5 years in. I said, I will completely eat this if it's my fault and you can fire me. I want to open a campus right next door to them and offer free training. Literally right next door, rent that's still a campus, and just do free training, offer state assisted training, offer employer training, offer sponsor from our nonprofit training, just because I wanted to shut down their school, which
you wanted to destroy them.
Just destroy them. So the people who own that school I didn't care about their school. They weren't competition at all until they partnered with a company I don't like. I was willing to lose my job to stop that. And it did. It shut it down. People realized how bad it was to go there, get their free training from CR England, and then be locked into a 2-year non-compete, 1 year payback 3 times what the school would cost, like all these bad things. Our campus there is making a ton of money. Owners were totally fine with me doing it this way. That's how competitive I will be. If it came down to something, there are people who work for state agencies or work on the local base here or work for schools like that who wanted me dead because I would be that competitive. So the idea was with real estate, financial freedom, I can escape all that. And now I can try to help other people be successful. And I don't have to set those growth goals because I don't have a limit. I would be 2016 by Lake Vegas, did the Mudruckers. Like I'm that kind of competition marathon person.
Yeah.
I would do it again, and at some point you start getting negative returns. You know this from prepping for getting negative returns on running. Everybody's like, "Oh, you just run farther; it gets better." No. Things don't last that long.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, this is a lot of fun. I love getting deeper and deeper insights. Again, folks, if you haven't seen the daily financial news today, something that is important for my wiring is I have to take. I'm going to do this until. To your point, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm going to do one hard thing a year just because I want to be able to look at every year as opposed to like, hey, I did that. Right. That's important to me. 2023 for me was very much like the year you're talking about. We did a lot of things. We probably helped, 300-400 people get deals, this, that, the other, did crazy travel. It's just, I had nothing to go look back at that stretched me. So that still is important to me. So I'm going to try to get healthy. I'm going to spend some money, biohacking and, getting scans and getting advice from a doctor in that space. And he's agreed to be a contributor on this channel for a year. So hopefully inspire other people to get healthy and ask questions about their health. So for me, it's kind of a combination of I'll be better, but also I continue to do what I love doing is inspiring others to take action, inspiring others to ask questions. And so I get to, do both sides.
No, I love it. I love it. The idea of having something every year that you want to accomplish. That's really cool. Especially, set an attainable goal, a measurable goal, those kind of things like the SMART goal system. Something I learned when I first started, I'd been investing for about 8 years. I had reached financial independence, not freedom yet. And I started taking those 1 month trips. I went to Colombia for a month, Thailand for a month, Florida for a couple of months. I just started going around and taking these trips. And a lot of people have been on a vacation, and some people have been on a 2-week vacation, right? And if you travel enough and you lose a couple of days to travel, even a 2-week vacation isn't that long. But when you start taking 1 month or 2 or 3 month trips, you run out of. So these are the 5 things I want to do when I get to Portugal. I absolutely want to go to the Benagil caves. I want to see Sagres. Like I want to do these things. What do you do after the first 3 days? Right?
Exactly.
So I developed this before retiring habit that's worked great in retirement of every day plan one thing. And it's not like I want to do this thing to become better. It's tomorrow, which is today, and my kids are going to come over. We're going to watch a horror film together. This is nice. Daddy kid date where we watch scary movies because I'm weird that way. Then the next day I'm driving out to another town to see friends I haven't seen in a few months. There's just something every single day, because if you don't plan something, you can have days where I'm going to plan nothing. Like tomorrow's a nothing day. And those are usually the days where I've ordered a refrigerator, worked on a fence, made a dump run. Do nothing days get filled up faster than your days where you plan something. So the people who are reaching financial freedom, I think the drive it takes to be focused for that decade or longer to reach financial freedom, make work optional, doesn't just go away. And so I've turned that into every day it's going to be something. I almost thought for a while, you saved me. I'll go live every day for a month. I'll do this for like an hour every day for a month. I think people would just get tired of listening to me. So I don't my channel. So I'll keep it to 3 days a week.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate this conversation, honest reflection. Again, I thoroughly love the idea. And again, it's just a quirk of mine of trying to tackle something I haven't done. And again, let's be very clear. One of the things that, I don't know, makes me odd or whatnot is I put these things out in the public because I want the audience to hold me accountable, right? I didn't just say I'm going to run a marathon and tell Olivia not. I told the world. And, so I like being public. And again, I like inspiring other people. I love helping people ask questions. So that's going to be a big kick in 2025 is, getting healthy again, right? There's a lot of things in medicine today that we could do that wasn't a thing a couple of decades ago. So we're going to find out what happens.
I had a thought and it ran away.
That's all right.
What were you just talking about? I'm sorry.
Getting healthy again.
Yeah, getting healthy again. Nope, it's gone.
No, it's all right.
That's the joy of having my memory. Sorry.
There you go. Well, Dion, you are amazing. You have an amazing channel called Dion Talk Financial Freedom, where you go live 3 days a week. You answer questions, do a lot of great stuff. Buddy, I appreciate you. Thank you for having this conversation.
No, thanks. I appreciate the invite.
You got it.